Hi Amelia, this is your Moldavite Libyan glass pendant. Stay tuned for your live inspection and pictures and fun stuff.
Okay, Amelia, this is your Moldavite and Libyan glass. Miss Sanders on the camera. You can say hi.
This is the fun part.
Yeah, so we're going to go through the inspection process, and she makes me start at the camera because the other stuff is boring, according to her. But, so here's your Moldavite and Libyan glass, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the Moldavite up underneath of here in the microscope, under the microscope, and it's going to project up onto the screen. I got to get it under the piece and get it focused. Give me a second here. So, there we go.
It's so pretty.
It is pretty. We'll get the mouse off of there. So that's the surface of your Moldavite. And that's interesting. But what we want to be able to see is all right, I'll take a picture. Hold on. So I can snap a picture here and it's going to save it. And we get back to live view. So, that's interesting. But what we want to see is we want to see beneath the surface. And to do that, the best way to do that is to polish it. Right, Sandra? You want me to polish it?
Oh no, you'd ruin it.
Right. I'm not going to polish it, but what I am going to do is put a fluid on here that has a refractive index that matches the refractive index of Moldavite. So let me wet this out. So it's going to wet the surface, and what that's going to do is that's going to wash the texture.
Ooh, look at the bubble.
Yeah, hold on just a second.
That is a big bubble.
Yeah. Okay, so that is going to wash the texture out, and now we're going to be able to see inside of the Moldavite.
Look at all those bubbles. Get a better view.
Okay, hold on, babe. I know you're excited. I'm going to go down inside the Moldavite just a little bit, and we're going to see the stress and texture inside the Moldavite. You know, let's find a better spot. So there's, I'm going to come back out to the surface. We're going to move this around just a little bit. Ooh, look at that. So there's some more bubbles there on the surface. Lots of bubbles on the surface. Let's zoom in here and see what we see. Ooh, so.
That's real pretty.
Okay, these are stress lines. And so when the meteorite impacted, it impacted in Germany. And the debris fanned out towards Czechoslovakia and northern Austria. And as that debris was, so the meteorite came in very hot, and it melted the surrounding material. And as the material was falling through the air and going towards Czechoslovakia and northern Austria, it would freeze. And as it's freezing and creating a solid, it's creating these stress lines, these birefringence lines in the material. So, and you can't fake that. That's something that, you know, these other folks, I don't want to name any names. Sorry. Don't say that, babe. So anyway, there's lots of people that do this, right? But so those are interesting. Those are really cool to see. And bubbles are really cool to see too. Let's move it around a little bit more. Let me focus back out on the surface so it's easy to find where I'm at. Oops, going down. So as I move the focus, it's going from the surface, it's focusing down deeper and deeper into the Moldavite. Okay, so let's move the Moldavite a little bit more over this way. Lots of bubbles. Lots of bubbles.
To the left there? Is that anything?
So back there a little bit. Yeah, you know, so what we're looking for is what Miss Sandra calls the wigglies. And I can see one right here, but I want to find a better one to kind of focus down in on. And you can see that these oblong bubbles and round bubbles. And people say on Facebook and TikTok and all these other websites that you can't have round bubbles in Moldavite. That's really not true. There is round bubbles in Moldavite. Yeah, and there's oblong ones too, and unusual shaped ones. And boy, this has a lot of stress lines in it, a lot more than I see in some other materials. And I can see some wigglies down in here, but I'm looking for a spot where I can really kind of dig down in deep and find one. All right, well, let's just kind of go down and see what's inside of this one. So this bubble, we couldn't even see. Let's go back up to the surface. So you don't even see the big bubble here. And as we focus down into there,
it's like dissecting it.
It is like dissecting it. Thanks, baby. Oh, see, as I'm focusing down in there, that bubble actually shows up. It's deep inside of it. Same thing with that one there. and this one here. And you know, the stress lines are so strong, it's really hard to focus on these wigglies. But they're all over the place in here. So, okay. Is that good, Miss Sander?
Oh yeah.
Would you like me to do anything?
Maybe some more pictures.
Oh, I forgot to take pictures. I'm sorry, babe.
Mm-hmm.
I do that. I get excited and
That's cool.
Looking at it too. That is cool.
That would have been a good picture.
Oh, okay. Well, let me snap a picture here. Okay, there we go.
But that's not that cool.
Okay, I'll go back, babe. Hold on. Whatever you like. That one
Yes.
there? Okay, that one there.
I mean, that's huge.
It is huge. It's very cool. Let me see if I can focus down below that. Below the surface there. I see.
You got a picture, though.
Yeah, I did. I got a picture.
It is just so...
Yeah, look at the stress in there. It's really, really interesting that this one has so much stress in it. And the stress goes in multiple directions, which is really interesting.
Unusual.
It is.
Usually it's very
flat.
linear, right?
Yeah, it is. You know, lots of bubbles in this one. And there's some bubbles over there. I wish I could push this in. Hold on a second. Let's see what happens. I always get that. My hand's in the way. Ah, there was a really cool. Hold on. Yeah, the stress lines are so strong in this piece.
This will be your evening movie.
Yeah, there you go. Instead of Netflix. Ooh, look at that bubble that showed up. So I'm focusing in and out, just looking for different things.
It's almost like wood grain.
Yeah,
I've never seen one like this.
Yeah, well, so the stress lines, what's going on is the stress lines are going this way, but they're also kind of going around bubbles and objects, contamination inside of the...
Oh, there's a wiggly.
Yeah, I know, but I can't get to it. I know, I see it. Just go back up. I can't, because...
Right? Am I right?
You are. And those aren't really wigglies. So
it looks like
let me show her what we look for. So under the microscope, we look for bubbles, flow lines, which are those stress lines, and then these are what Sandra calls the wigglies. Is that how you pronounce that? Wigglies.
You mean spell it?
Yeah, spell that. Yes, exactly. So this is what we're looking for. But with all those stress lines, it's a little difficult to focus on. Let's see what else we have. I didn't take a picture of that over there, babe. Sorry. And I'm going to come out on this one. Yeah, a lot of really. Whoops! I need to go live version. It was on the picture. All right, let's not make this a 30-minute video. Let's do. There's the surface.
She's been so patient.
I know. So there's the bubbles on the surface too, and this is kind of the surface when it's washed out. Again, we didn't polish the surface. I'll take another picture of that too. Okay. All right, so let's take a peek at. Miss Sandra, I'm gonna have you clean this off then before I take it over to. Let's take a peek at the.
Yeah, we've never looked through living glass.
I have. So we have. So first of all, living glass is pretty easy to see, but with your naked eye, whether it's real or not. You know, with the shapes and actually, living glass has. That's not a live version. So living glass has a pretty large field. This field right just over the Libyan border in Egypt, but it's a really, really large field of Libyan glass. And the scientists actually argue about its origin, and it's pretty interesting, the composition and the defects that are inside of it. So let's go take a peek at it. So there's contamination inside of Libyan glass as well. Not as sexy as the Moldavite. Let me wow, I really have to turn the light down on this one. Let me get it focused in here correctly. So here is the surface of the Libyan glass.
Do you need to put this stuff on it?
Not yet. Just give me a second, babe. You're right. Hold on. We'll do that. So here's the surface of Libyan glass.
Cool. Take a picture.
Thank you. I'll take a picture. There it goes. Okay, so now if we wash the surface out, so it doesn't have as much texture, so it's not as really difficult to wash out. But it's also not that interesting inside. Hold on a second. It doesn't have all that stress lines and stuff, but it does have all those dark spots, and that's what you want to see. Forget this piece going across there. That's something in the. But all these dark spots.
Can you turn the brightness down?
Yeah, I can. Sorry. Well, there's some thin spots here too. So let's move this aside. Whoops. And I wanted to pull it out a little bit.
Kind of like a wiggly thingy.
Yeah.
Stress line.
They're not. What they are is different elements that are contaminated inside of there. Okay, let's let that stuff get away. That's debris from the solution I put on there. But this here, those are the contaminants that you really look for inside of desert Libyan glass. Libyan desert glass. I can get on the surface. So there we go. These are the elemental contaminants inside of.
Be cool if you found a bug.
No,
like amber.
It wouldn't be cool because that's not what happens with this. It wouldn't be real. We can do some amber, babe. I can look at some amber for you.
Are those stress lines or?
Oh, there's your stress lines. Yeah, absolutely. Those are stress lines, but you don't find the wigglies inside of.
I'm sure we all
know
why, but that's going to be another evening. Oh, look at all that neat stuff.
Yeah, that's a piece
Do
of
you
dirt.
have a picture of the living glass anywhere? What's below there? Is that something interesting? There, what's that?
That's something on the surface. So it's wetting out the solutions moving around because this is a pretty
slick.
It's a pretty slick surface, and it's kind of like downhill.
That's cool.
All right, one more second.
Or one more picture.
Let me focus on that. Let's see if I can get down to it. So there you can see. Sorry, there you can see the surface, and I'm going to focus down into that. And there is it's a little bit too far. I can't quite get to it. But that's the typical contamination that you see inside of living glass.
Picture.
Okay, babe. Oh, sorry. Pictures.
A little bit. There you go.
Okay.
Make it look like yellow.
Oh, well, it is yellow. You want me
wasn't yellow. He's colorblind.
Oh, everything's green. Let me focus a little bit better here.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, so here's those contaminants in there. Again, this little debris that you might see floating around.
The pretty lines.
Oh, the pretty lines. Okay. There's another picture, babe. All right, so let's wash these up, and then we'll do the fun stuff. Oh yeah, the boring stuff.
No,
okay.
Just cut.
Okay.
Run.
All right, babe, here you go. Wash these up for me.
Will do.
All right, so Miss Sandra cleaned all these up. And really, the first thing that we should be doing is looking at the color and texture and gloss to determine if it's real. Actually, the same thing with the Libyan glass. But let's just talk about the Moldavite. So this Moldavite came from the southern Bohemia region of Czechoslovakia. So what I do is I take pieces from that same region, that same mine area, and I compare it, the texture and surfaces from there. And I have that's what these pieces are here. These are all authentic. There's another piece up here that from that mine, and this piece here. So these are all that one actually has a break on it. Pieces from that same mine and region, and what we're really looking at is similar texture and color and gloss. So I can show you some fake Moldavite. That's a piece of fake Moldavite. You can see it's very glossy. Here's another piece of fake Moldavite. This is from China. It actually looks like maybe a Heineken beer bottle. And another piece of fake Moldavite. We actually have we've over the years collected a lot of fake Moldavite to do comparisons with. But clearly the texture, the color, the glossiness, all of that is indicative of real Moldavite from the southern Bohemia region of Czechoslovakia. So the next thing we do is to look at specific gravity. So I'm going to do that over here. Okay, so we're going to measure the density or hydrostatic specific gravity of the Moldavite. So when you think of density, think of a balloon and a piece of lead that are the same size. A balloon's a lot lighter for that size than that piece of lead is, so the lead is a lot denser. So the density of real moldavite is somewhere, especially for this mine of moldavite, is somewhere between 2.27 and 2.46, and it's usually on average at about 2.35. And so we measure it with a little more sophisticated analytical balance, that we can measure both the mass and we can measure the volume. Because again, I think about that balloon and piece of lead, it's the size, the volume of that piece of lead with respect to the weight of that. So we're going to both measure mass and volume. To do that, we first weigh the moldavite itself on the scale, and we record that, we record the weight, and that is 3.349 grams. And then we take that same piece of moldavite, okay, and we weigh it on a small tray in distilled water on top of here. Let me see if I got that in there correctly. Okay, and have it touching the sides. And that number is 1.928. So we're going to take the top number and bring it down here, 3.349. So the calculation is the dry weight divided by the dry weight minus the wet weight, which is really a volume. So to do this, we are going to calculate the bottom number first, 3.349 minus 1.928, and that equals 1.421. So then we're going to take the top number, 3.349 divided by 1.421, and that equals 2.36. I'm going to round it up right there. So it's right there at that target. So there you go. That's how we measure and determine the hydrostatic specific gravity, or the density of moldavite, which tells us that it's real. So the Chinese moldavite that we've been measuring is somewhere around 2.5 to 2.6, and some of the other glasses that we measured have been up in that 2.5, 2.55 range as well. All right, so I'm going to clean these pieces up, give them to Miss Sandra, and she'll take them on her next trip to Sedona to create a pendant for you. I hope you enjoyed the video.